You were at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Glorton, who says, please rant about the children's movie Kirikou and the Sorceress. It's about a superhuman Shota who knows what he wants. I've watched the English dub countless times growing up and thought it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on it. Here's a passable upload of the dub I found. Obviously, I'd like you to watch that. I'd like you to watch the whole hour-long movie, but I understand that you're very busy and that the film might not be as great without nostalgia goggles. Thank you for years of interesting content. I hope you like the movie. So I did, in fact, watch this whole movie, and I loved it, and it was fucking strange. Kirikou and the Sorceress is ostensibly a children's movie based on African folklore. All the characters are African. They're all naked most of the time. I mean, all the women have their tits out at all times. So, right away, functioning as a kid's movie, this is like something you would never see on American TV at all, So it was immediately like, okay, this is culturally very different from what I'm used to. The voice acting is all like African voices, even though they're speaking English. And, the artwork and everything is based in that folkloric style. So the movie immediately feels very like richly, trying to pull from this culture while also being like visually gorgeous. And what it reminded me of right away is the Toei animation films, like the early Toei films, which were often adapting Japanese folk tales. It particularly reminded me of the Taro story because he's also like a young man who, even when he's a kid, he's superhumanly powerful and he just goes around fixing people's problems, essentially. And the tone and pacing of the films are very similar. So immediately I was struck by the fact that it looked like that movie and was even more interesting in like the dialogue, the speed at which the story moves, the depth of the theming that is immediately apparent and like what the film is trying to say, which is basically like you have to be, if you want to like be truly great in this world and like solve everybody's problems, then you just got to be like relentlessly good-natured and prepared and strong physically and mentally, and just like don't take any bullshit, don't listen to anybody's lies. Like you got to just be a fucking hard ass from birth, and then you can save everybody. And that's what Kirikou is. He births himself. He, as a baby, like literally a newborn baby throughout most of the movie, solves all the problems with this African village that's being tormented by this sorceress. So, I thought the messaging of the movie was really powerful, and then the artistry of it is great. It's really funny. It goes through scene by scene, and like early on, it's laying more like heavier messages on you, and Kirikou has like a lot of scenes of him trying to help the villagers and stuff, and the mid part of the movie is more of like an adventurous, fun tone of just him like having to sort of find his way out of situations through clever, quick thinking. But just it constantly displays like what makes Kirikou a hero is that he's always thinking ahead. He's always on top of things. He's cautious, but he still wants to, he's always trying to like come up with the best solution and make sure everybody's going to be okay. So he's a great hero character, and in that sense, I feel like it makes for a powerful kids movie because it does communicate these messages in a lot of different ways. You've got the visual component, you've got directly in the dialogue the way it explains like the kind of person Kirikou should be. The metaphors are powerful. It just feels like a really strong, powerful movie. But, like, at the same time, it's so fucking strange and so culturally different from what America would have in a kid's movie that, like, it's so difficult for me to actually imagine having grown up with this movie. Like, I can't picture having grown up regularly watching a movie where all the girls have their tits out at all times, even if it makes sense as, like, something I understand to just be, like, the culture of Africa. It's like, it truly shows just how culturally ingrained that difference really is. But the fucking weirdest part is that this movie is French. It's made by a French guy. I guess he grew up in Guinea, but he's a French white dude who was just interested in this African folklore and really wanted to do a good story about it. And so it's like that element of it makes it extra bizarre that it even exists, and to think about like how well it really captures, the folk tales or whatever. But nonetheless, I just thought it was a really good movie. Really enjoyed it. Thought it had a strong message, and yeah, I think it. If you're a kid who is shown this movie, you might learn a good lesson from it.